Hey guys, welcome to Chefolution. I'm Chef NCP and today we're going to be making the spring lamb burger with triple cooked chips and rhubarb ketchup. I'm going to be making this video today in 3 sections, starting off with the prep, followed by the cooking, finishing off with the serving suggestion. Let's get started. So we're going to start off with the prep for the rhubarb ketchup. I'm just going to start by slicing my tomatoes and getting them ready into the pot. Just roughly chop these up, just clang them up, small as possible. That will reduce the cooking time. I'm doing a half portion today, guys, half recipe, so you will have twice as much than what I have here. This is just one portion. Chopped up and into the pot. With your rhubarb sticks, just trim off this edge. This is outdoor rhubarb, so it's not forced, so it needs to cook down a little bit longer, but which is fine because you're making a rhubarb ketchup. So we're going to be cooking that down quite a lot, and then once it's ready, it's going to go in the fridge to chill, ready for serve. There we are. That's going to go in there with my tomatoes. Next, we're going to go on to the potato. Just roll your potato around, take off the top. We're going to square this off. You can use those, throw them in the chip fat fryer, and they're a lovely little snack. Don't worry if you've got a little bit of skin, that helps with the rustic of the dish. I'm happy with that, that's fine. I like a little bit of skin on there. That's where all the nutrition is. So once you've got your cube, what I've done is I've sliced it in half from the shorter side. And then I'm going to proceed to making my chunky chips. All roughly the same thickness, so none of them overcook. I'm going to leave them in there and fill with water so that they don't brown and in the oxygen. Done. Next we're going to move on to our spring lamb. It's the perfect time of the year because spring lamb is at its most tender. You got to remember it's a younger lamb. I've actually bought this lamb at a perfect time where it's later on in the spring, which means that it's starting to come into a little bit of flavour. So where lamb is more tender, it's not as flavoursome. But now I'm quite happy with that. So that's our lamb. And I'm going to take my mint, pick off all the leaves, stack those neatly on top of each other and run my knife through. If you've got a really sharp knife, you don't end up with all the flavour of the mint on your chopping board. And then after that, I'm just going to roll my knife through it again in a cross chop. When you're cross chopping, it's extremely vital that your knife is sharp, because otherwise you end up with a mint puree left on your chopping board. It's going to go into my lamb mince, followed by a nice pinch of salt and pepper. That's it for seasoning. I just want everyone to be able to taste our local British lamb, straight from Tunley Farm in Bath, right on our doorstep. So I'm going to go mix this all together to form a patty for our burger. Fully incorporate all that chopped up mint, salt and pepper, and we'll have a beautiful burger. This is a medium fat lamb mince, so you have juicy result. I'm going to take my lamb mince now, place it in the palm of my hand into a ball. I'm going to pat it down into the palm of my hand, just slightly bigger than my burger bun, like so. There we are, guys, beautiful. Back into the bowl to place to one side, wash my hands, and we're going to move on to the garnish. So with your onion, we're going to slice this up into rings. If you've got a really sharp knife, it's going to turn out beautiful. Just to stabilise the onion, I'm just going to create a little surface area so that my onion doesn't roll around. I'm going to slice into rings. Take your time, nice and slow, so you have perfect rings. When you get quite close to the edge, just roll it over, bring it close to the edge of the board, and just a slight sawing motion, holding on to the root, and let the knife do the work. And then I'm just going to pop all the rings into a bowl. The thinner your onion rings, obviously, guys, the more stable your burger is going to be. I know everyone likes the look of a nice towered burger, but then you also struggle with putting it in your gob. We have nice onion rings. Same again with the tomato, guys. Find the tomatoes a little bit more forgiving with stability. Just slice the top off, and about the same thickness as your onion rings. Just let the knife glide through the tomato. Don't squash it, otherwise you'll end up with a board full of tomato juice. Same again when you come to the edge. Just let the knife glide through the tomato. Beautiful. Same with my gherkins. Just nice, thin slices of gherkin. Your cheese will come already prepared. I've just sliced up some of my home cheddar, and that's it, guys. On to the cooking. Okay, guys, so I've got my rhubarb and tomato covered in boiling water, and I'm bringing that up to the boil, and I'm going to leave that to cook with the lid on for about 10 minutes. Next, I've got my boiling water, and I'm going to bring that up to a rolling boil with a big pinch of salt. Guys, make sure your oven's on 180 degrees centigrade. Once that comes up to a rolling boil, guys, I'm going to go in with my chips. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go in with my oil, not too much, into my frying pan, because once this burger starts cooking, the fat's going to ooze out, and it's going to have plenty of fat in that pan. If that's the case, guys, just drain it off. Drain a little bit of the fat off, otherwise you end up with a braised burger rather than a nice caramelized crispy edged burger. Just going to bring that up to heat, on a high heat. I want that burger to go in there super hot for about 30 seconds, flip it over and straight into the oven. I'm going to cook that for about 6 to 8 minutes. It's a big burger, not extremely thick, just a little bit bigger than the bun, so that when it shrinks, it will be perfect inside. So we're up to a rolling boil now, guys. I'm going to go straight in with my chips out of the water. Straight in. They're going to cook for 8 minutes. Make sure you time this, guys, because you don't want them overcooking. You still want them to be semi-raw, because we're going to triple cook these. So they're going to go from the water into the oven, and then for a deep fry. I know my oil's hot now. I'm going to drop a little bit off. I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to go in with our burger. Let it do its thing. So we get a nice caramelization on the meat. While that's happening, guys, I'm just going to oil my baking tray. Just going to have a little check my burger. A little bit longer. If you want to impress everyone on the barbecue, guys, feel free to do this on the barbecue. Absolute sensational burger. Give the pride of homemade. So that's ready, guys. If you've got a heat resistant frying pan, not a plastic handle that will melt in the oven, you can go straight in with that, straight into the oven. So my chips have been on for about 7 minutes. They're going to be hot enough. I'm just going to strain them off. They are partially cooked. Just leave them to steam dry for a little bit before you put them in the oven. Your chips should still feel raw, guys, so just give them a little fill. Into the frying pan, into the baking tray. Tiny pinch of salt. Remember, you're going to be seasoning these again at the end, provided you like salt. Just spread those around the tray. Evenly cook in the oven. I'm going to place these in the oven, guys, for about 8 minutes again. Just until they seal. Not looking for any colour. So my rhubarb and my tomatoes have been on simmering for about 10 minutes now. They're ready to blitz. You can do this with a stick blender if you like, guys. So guys, I've got my chips perfectly sealed. Not looking for colour, just a nice seal. My rhubarb and tomato is nicely blitzed and it's half reduced. Now is the perfect time. It's starting to look like ketchup now, guys, so go in with your vinegar and your brown sugar. I've got my oil in the pan now, and I'm just bringing that up to about 180 degrees. Turn my temperature down, that's reducing it super fast. Once it's half reduced, guys, keep an eye on it because it goes super fast. You want that nice, rich ketchup consistency. Just going to check the temperature of my oil because I've put it on to a super high heat. Come on. Yeah, I'm way over, so I'm just turning the temperature down. As soon as my chips go in there, that will cool just ever so slightly. And in with my chips. These won't take long at all, guys, but you will have some lovely, fluffy, crispy potatoes. Potentially the best potatoes you've ever tasted. If you think it's too hot and they're cooking too fast, just take them off the heat. For me, they're going almost instantly. They've gone the perfect colour. And I just take those straight out. Be super careful with your oil, guys. Just leave it to cool down before you do anything else with it. My ketchup is beginning to catch, so I just Not in a terrible way, just you can see it's forming at the bottom of the pan. And it's just starting to cook off the last remaining remnants of water. Oh my god, guys. I think this potentially is the best ketchup I've ever tasted. I'm ready with this one. You can see there's no residue of water. Just spoon it out and see the residue. Simply get that ketchup into the fridge as quick as possible. We want that nice and chilled, ready for our chips. Just in time for my burger. So I've mixed and balanced the timing of my burger. It's nice and firm, you know that's fully cooked. You can go slightly under with lamb. I like a fully cooked burger, and that's been in for about 6 minutes. Just leave that to one side to rest, and we'll come back to that once the ketchup's chilled. Nice golden burger. With the flavours that are still inside the pan, guys, this pan's super hot. Just going to put it on a low heat just to make sure that it stays hot. I'm going to toast my buns inside the pan. My bun's going to absorb all that lamb flavour. If you used a baking tray, guys, just take the juices from the baking tray into the frying pan and repeat what you're watching. Just watch that bun toasting it ever so nicely. And there you have it, guys. Perfectly toasted bun in the pan, full of lamb flavour. On to the serving suggestion. Just smother your burger bun with some of that lovely ketchup. Top your base with your gherkins, pea shoots, tomatoes, a few red onion rings. If you have any extra red onions left over, I'm sure you will, just use them on your salads. Finish off with your lamb burger, your slice of cheese, mature cheddar cheese. Top with your crown. Place that slightly off center and stack your chips 3 by 3 into a nice Jenga tower. Finish with your ketchup. And there you have it, guys. Beautiful. And there it is, guys. Chef-Olution's spring lamb burger with triple cooked chips and rhubarb ketchup. Yes, chef.